Good morning, everyone. The window cleaners have just arrived. Sorry, everything's out in my dressing room. The window cleaners have just arrived, and I think it's the first time they've come since we've had Porter. And Porter was like, "Mum, Dad, what's going on?" We had a lovely little barky bark out of him. If someone had told me that having a puppy was like having a little baby. Look at all of these toys you've left everywhere, my boy. Look at these toys. You snuggling with your toy. Having a little sunbathe, aren't you, my gorgeous boy? I don't know how my eyes are looking right now because I've had such a busy day and I've not really realised that the day is like running away with me. And also, I don't know what happens, but when I stare at my phone, I get like bloodshot eyes. I think I really need to start using blue light glasses. I've got some from Key and I just need to wear them. But it's just one of those things when you're not in the mindset of wearing them, you just don't. But anyway, hi guys. How are you? And welcome back to the vlog. Today is the day that my Karen Millen collection is going live on the app, and I'm like a bit flustered but also really like just overwhelmed and excited, and it got me thinking. I definitely think that we probably need to have a little bit of a chat in this vlog. Hopefully it won't be too much of a long one, but I need to make lunch first for Ali. I don't know whether to do that first or after. I think I'm gonna make us some lunch because we're just gonna have a quick old stir fry and bung everything in the pan, and then we should be good this evening. My nails are an actual mess, so I'm gonna get these off and get these done this evening with my kit upstairs. I ordered a new color. Can't remember what it's called, but when I do my nails later, I will show you the color because it's beautiful. It's just kind of this really like neutral color, and it's see-through, but I like it. It's like understated. I've snapped my nail like halfway up, so I need to put some gel on to kind of secure it anyway. But yes, it's been a really enjoyable day so far, but just nice and chilled and quiet. I've been filming a lot of reels and planning a lot of stuff. And then obviously the launch has just happened. So I'm gonna get some lunch on the go and then get cracking.
I'm giving you
It's so funny. The moment Porter realises, like, make him do it again, babe.
Okay, come on, get up. Go and get a toy or something.
The moment Porter realises that Ali's gonna do the raspberries on his belly, he's like, oh.
Take.
He knows it's coming. He loves belly raspberries. Oh. I feel like there's a little bit of a shift in the air at the moment, and I think it's probably because we're starting to feel the first signs of the seasons changing, and I've just received the latest edition of Stories, which is from Neptune, and it's like their sort of magazine catalogue, but also has like articles in it and stuff like that, and it's got me very, very excited for some spring decor in the house. But also, excuse the mess in the kitchen, Ali pointed out this morning, look at the sun by the way, the sun is shining. Ali pointed out this morning the little sprouts on the wall. So if you're new around here, you might not know, but basically this wall, on the other side of the wall to the moss is where the actual ground is. So we get this kind of growth through the wall, and it's probably not a good thing, but my goodness is it beautiful, and it changes colour throughout the seasons. So in spring, I think it usually goes a bit of a lilac colour, and then it goes hot pink, and then I don't even know what colour it goes, it just keeps changing. And the flowers stay like all summer long, and it's just beautiful. So where we live, like it constantly looks different with every season. So you never feel like you're just staring at the same thing because it always looks so different. This little munchkin, I always feel like you can't see him properly because his face is like so dark, but this little munchkin is being a good little boy. You are such a good boy, always. You're learning all of the new tricks and stuff like that. Just not very good at going on walks, are you? I've actually got to try something new with him tomorrow. I have to actually get up and drive him to somewhere else to go for a walk because he won't leave where we live. He won't leave like the front door or the driveway or the gates. He just won't do it. I think it's more of like a stubbornness thing than it is like a confidence thing, but we need to get him into the habit of going for walks basically. But if I pick him up and I carry him to the end of the road, he will happily walk back. But for some unknown reason, he is not happy leaving the house. He is just a homebody like his mum. I thought I would come into the bedroom and have a little chat because a lot of chatting and a lot of reflecting and thinking is happening at the moment, isn't it? Because it's such a bizarre time. But I had an incident happen the other day and it really made me think about the last kind of 9 months, and I feel like I maybe owe an explanation a little bit, because basically what happened was I tweeted something on Twitter about getting an Hermes wish, and I tweeted it because I was obviously excited and I tweeted it, and one of the messages that I got back was, "This is so completely tone deaf, people are dying, we're in a global pandemic," or something along those lines. And I read that and I was like, I know, because not 48 hours earlier had I lost my grandpa, my nonno. So I know, but that one thing that I tweeted that day was, since that happened, that was the one thing, that's the one positive thing that I could find that happened at that time. And yet someone was so quick to label me tone deaf, even though I was experiencing the full ferocity of what is going on in the world. Like, the whole aim of these lockdowns is to stop people dying, and that didn't happen to my nonno, and I was living that. And that was my nonno that I was raising money for over the Christmas period. My nonno that, you know, I didn't know if I was going to see again, and obviously I didn't see him again. And I don't know whether it's me doing something wrong, or whether it's the lack of empathy in the world to each other that we consistently seem to show each other. I feel like there's such a blinkered view of people, and maybe this is me saying that potentially I've fed into that, because over the last 9 months I have struggled beyond belief. And I'm not talking about struggling in a financial sense. I haven't experienced, you know, I didn't lose my job. You know, I'm not faced with losing my house, but I have had a really, really, really hard time. And if we know anything about the mental effects of things, so we know that you know, those kind of things, it doesn't change anything. You can have the best life in the world, but if you're struggling, you're struggling, and that's it. No one, you know, you can't give someone £1 million and that automatically cures their mental health issues. Anyway, I've had a really, really tough time the last 9 months, and I have kept that from you as much as I possibly can. At times I felt like I was failing miserably, and maybe I was failing miserably. I think a lot of people did message me and like, is everything okay? Because I was trying so hard. I was trying so hard to remain positive and keep putting out content and keeping you guys occupied. Like, for me, I just wanted to be a positive place on the internet for you to come, and for you to have stuff to watch when you're bored, and for me to have something to do as well. It's not, you know, I'm not just painting this as if I was doing something for you, but for me as well, I needed to have purpose. And I guess what I'm thinking now is that I kind of want to wipe the slate clean and kind of go over things, because despite what happened, you know, not 2 weeks ago, and the fact that, you know, one of my worst nightmares happened, I lost a family member to COVID, I am coping better, and I haven't coped for the last 9 months. And I know that I've mentioned it before, and I said when this all started, I was one of those people that was like, I threw myself into productivity and proactivity, and I don't think that that was totally a coping mechanism. For me also, it was a lot of the frustrations that I had with my life at the time, because I was so frantic here, there and everywhere that I never got to do with all of the things that I wanted to do. And it's almost like I needed that balance, but then to reverse it, and for that to be the only thing, it was like almost like an obsessive thing. And being productive and being proactive to a certain extent helps me a lot, but it's also kind of masking something. And so I think my problems really began then. And I then realized that immediately, once my brand Glow launched, that I'd pushed through something that shouldn't have happened at that time. I wasn't ready. I wasn't strong enough to deal with that, regardless of what anyone thinks of Glow and how they feel about the product or whatever it was. I wasn't ready to cope with what happened, and that's nobody's fault but my own, but I was not ready. And the effects of that on me, I'm not gonna cry. Literally, I had a doctor's appointment the other day and about my headaches, because that was when it started. And even then I was like, I'm so sorry, I don't know why I'm crying about this. But whenever anyone asks me to like recount what happened, I can't do it. I can't, because all I remember, and I wasn't, but all I remember is screaming. In my head, all I can remember from that time was screaming. I wasn't screaming. That wasn't the case at all, but because I guess for me, I was in such a state of shock, and so obviously heartbroken because I'd poured my heart into something. That's what I remember from it. And that was the first sort of blow. So it was a blow at a time when I was like weak. And I'm not usually a weak person. I'm someone that's quite resilient, and I tend to get back up and just dust myself off, and I'm like, cool. But I think that everything that was going on kind of affected me differently. And then I was put in a position that I didn't know was a vulnerable position. And I ended up in a person's house alone, and I quickly realized that I was vulnerable in that position. I let the person know that I wasn't in a very good place, and I was quite delicate at that time. And unfortunately, my client confidentiality was breached, and I was gaslit into believing that something took place that didn't, and that this person had something that they could hold over me to stop me from talking about what happened. And that was 2 days later, another blow. That was the second blow, and that probably lasted a good few months, and it was a lot messier and detrimental to my health behind the scenes on that, to the point where, you know, I had to have meetings with people, and it was just, it was one of those situations that you just don't believe that that would actually happen, like that any professional person would ever do that. You just, it's still to this day, I'm in shock. And usually in situations like this, I'm able to very quickly find the silver linings, and so I'm able to spin it into something more positive, but I wasn't being afforded that time to be able to do that. With that going on for around 3 months, and then obviously Lumi became really, really ill, and we obviously thought that she was gonna die. And in my head, that was literally like, you know, wow, this is like the cherry on the cake. So I thought. And then my nonna broke her back and ended up in hospital, and I was on the phone to her when she was there. Not gonna cry. I was on the phone to her when she was there, and I didn't know this at the time, but old people often experience delirium when they're in hospital. I didn't know that that was a thing. And so speaking to her on the phone was quite distressing for me to hear her like that, because I've never heard her. Like, my nonna is just the most lovely, bubbly, happy person. And so to hear her like that was very distressing. Then after that, it became apparent that my nonna obviously needed to go into a home because he needed to be cared for properly. And it was all these blows that I was like, not being able to process, and not being given enough time between each blow to kind of just make sense of it all. You know, when we lost Lynx, I was able to, you know, I'm able to think about that now. Remember when I couldn't talk about it without crying? I can talk about it now because I was able to make peace with it, and I was able to find the silver linings, and I wasn't able to do that. And then if my personal life wasn't enough, we had a breach on one of my channels, and that is still affecting me now. And at that point I thought, that's it, like, this is it, I've lost everything, I've lost everything. And I'd say, I can't remember exactly what day it was in December, but I hit my lowest point in the middle of Vlogmas, so much so that my family had to emergency call out my therapist, which has never ever happened to me before in my life. But it was the lowest point after a succession of 9 months of really just not very nice things happening, things that I don't know how to process as a human, things I don't know how to make sense of. I'm a very, very sensitive person, and so when situations I feel are unjust or unkind, I take it very, very hard. And luckily, a lot of the people that I've been dealing with regards to the breach have helped, and it's been not just me thinking that, you know, I'm going to lose my business, but I'm also going to be cancelled online, you know, I'm going to be dragged and shamed. It was all just a bit too much. And so when I saw that tweet from that person, I was like, have I made it look like these last few months have been amazing, when really what I've done is I'm trying to give you content to watch and escape, because, you know, so many of you message me to say, like, your content is the only thing keeping me going, and I'm like, okay, pressure, but also I want to help. I didn't want to have anything on my channel that was negative or depressing or upsetting or sad or low, and so I kept it to myself, and I navigated it really badly by myself. There were many days when I did not get out of bed. In fact, I remember lying there for an entire day crying on my pillow, and I know that my friends and my family have been crying because of the state that I have been in. If I made it look like, you know, Lydia Millen, she's just celebrating all of the amazing things, when actually what I'm celebrating is the moments that keep me going. So like working with Tiffany, for example, that moment was so huge for me, and I'm like celebrating that because the day before was when I was there crying, and it should have been such a huge moment of my career, and it should have been like that pinnacle. Like I said, for me, it's not for everyone, not everyone loves Tiffany, but for me, Tiffany the brand was that moment, and the day before was at my absolute lowest. You know, my Karen Millen edits and the launches of those were so hard on me physically because I was so mentally drained. So someone else mentioned, they were like, oh, it looks like, you know, Lydia's just celebrating loads of stuff. And I'm like, I have just been celebrating what is keeping me going and keeping me functioning. And I'm kind of glad I didn't share the moments as they happened, but I'm also glad that I'm doing it in this one video. And for me, it feels cathartic to be able to say, like, it has been a horrible 9 months for me. I feel like I can't even remember all of the bad things that were happening because so many bad things happened. Like, Ali and Carrie kept saying to me, like, I don't understand how one person can endure as much as you have in these last few months. And no, I am not the worst off in the world. I'm not. You know, I still have my home, I still have my job. I mean, I thought I was losing my job, but I still have those things. And I've tried to keep going and keep my head on, and obviously I've employed a lot of people to help me do that. But I also needed to make sure that that person that sent me that message and that said, you know, you're tone deaf for sharing the one thing that might have felt like the only positive thing that happened that week, that hurt more than I could ever imagine, because it was like, you have no idea, but I shouldn't have to make you have any idea for you to just think, she's tweeted something. That's probably one thing that's keeping her going, and that's fine. I don't need to shame her for that. And I think that if there's one thing that I hope that people can see from this, is that there is so much going on behind everyone's lives on here. And I don't feel like we need to say that anymore. I don't feel like that needs to be said, because we know this. So why are we not able to be slightly more kind to each other and slightly more, I've got my big picture glasses on today. Like, I can see that that's 1 second, like that one tweet that she said is 1 second of her life. What about the rest of it? What about everything else that's happened? She could be crying herself to sleep at night, and that one thing, whatever it is, that one thing didn't make her cry that night. And that's a win. And so I think for me, I wanted to be honest and explain to you some of the situations that I've faced over the last 9 months. Also, I feel like I've been keeping a dirty secret. In all honesty, it feels like me hiding my sadness and my difficult times has felt like I've been trying to hide something from you, and I don't want to hide that anymore. I feel like I'm quite an open person, and I don't feel like I want to keep this, but I also need to be able to share it when I'm ready to share it. And like I said, despite what's happened in the last week, I am doing better, and I am coping better, and I'm doing lots of things that help me cope. Yes, I have days when I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna sit on the sofa and breathe. But I also have days when I'm like, there is a fire lit up my ass and I just need to do everything. Today was one of those days. It was a good day. You know, I got up, I walked Porter, I got dressed, I've filmed content and I've enjoyed filming the content. I am now vlogging, which I always struggle to do both. If I'm shooting content, filming for a vlog is really difficult because I need to like start, my brain is so weird. Also FYI, it's not the most difficult job in the world. Obviously I am not a healthcare professional, I am not a fireman or a policeman. My job is not the hardest, but I always speak in relative terms. And so I'm having a moment where things, you know, for me, this is just a moment of clarity and a moment of letting you know that I haven't been okay. If you're looking at me thinking, why is she so happy? Why is she having such a great time? Why is she just fine doing whatever and with her Hermes bags or whatever? Hermes bags will never make you happy, okay? They might be like oh, that's nice that I've got my Hermes wish, but they will never make you happy. A big house in the countryside will never make you happy, okay? It might make you have one less worry about things, or it might make you, you know, have a positive point in a day, but those are the things that don't make you happy. What makes you happy is the people around you. I wouldn't have made it through the last few months if I didn't have the best friend that I have and the husband that I have. Those are the two people that have literally picked me up and been my punch bag. Like, I honestly have been so difficult. And I don't know, like that was my next fear, that my husband was going to divorce me because he couldn't bear to cope with someone as wet and sad as I was. And it's a spiral. It is a spiral, and I have been clawing myself out of this like you would not believe. I feel like my fingers are like to the bone because I have been willing myself out of this so much, and I get so frustrated. And I get so impatient with myself, but I've had a huge realization. All of these times when I'm like, I'm journaling, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I kind of do it until I feel all right again, and then I just like, meh, fine, I'm good. And actually, these are things that I have to stick to. So I've kind of had a bit of a life epiphany. I've silenced a lot of people online that their content or even just like their presence affects me. Now in the evenings I'm barely on my phone. I'm literally just reading, and I'm reading books not that like have transportative storylines. I'm actually reading help books, which I always said I didn't do, but I'm reading them and I'm taking them in and I'm making notes because I am the only person that is going to drag myself out of this. I mean, my husband and my best friend, they can kind of hold my head above the water, but it's me that's got to get me out of it. So far, and this is I feel like I'm gonna cry because it's such a momentous movement, but so far, I'd say I've had a week of positivity, which is something that I haven't experienced for a very long time. I don't have, at the moment, I think I spoke about them previously, I don't have those moments of like elation. I don't experience those anymore. I'm hoping that I will again, but you know how I used to be where I'd look out of the windows and I'd be like, oh my God, I don't experience those anymore. I don't have those. That's the level of happiness that I'm not at yet. But I hope to be back there, and I'm working to be back there. But a week of positive thinking and positive movement and moving forward is a huge step for me. I'm also 3 days of not taking any headache tablets, which 9 months of taking headache tablets, Woo! Not good, not good. So I'm making small steps, but I wanted to be honest and also draw a line under this. Like, let you know where I've been, let you know how I've been feeling, let you know that I am not the worst hit by this, but I have had a bit of a tough time and I haven't been hunky-dory, but I didn't want to burden you guys with that, so I kept it quiet throughout my videos. And now I feel like I'm in a place where I can put it into a video, I can draw a line under it, and if anyone wants to know how I've been, it's here. And so now when you hear me say that I'm having an evening of self-care or I'm, you know, having a chilled day, it's because mentally, not any external stressors or like life woes, it's just for my coping mechanisms, that's what I needed and I need to do, and I now have to recognize those. And so when you're like Lydia in her house and her big Hermes bag collection needs to have some self-care, it's like the bigger picture. Everyone else is also going through this and having dark times, and you don't need to be the worst hit to have a really difficult time. So I think that, you know, what I want to really say in this is that I don't want your sympathy, you know, I don't need any kind of mollycoddling or anything like that, just some understanding. Every person, every individual that gets dragged online, that goes through a hard time or says something silly, they still have a bigger picture. That one thing is not their everything. And imagine what some people must be going through, and imagine what life could be throwing at people. And I think that if we do that, before we say and do and react and knee-jerk respond to things, if we ask ourselves, hold on a minute, that person's just said something really silly, but I bet that they're having a bit of a tough time, or I bet that, you know, they've got enough going on in their life without me pointing it out. If we just gave ourselves a few more seconds to ask ourselves things before we respond, I think that the world would be so much kinder to each other. And it's why I've turned, you know, my DMs off. You can't respond to my stories on Instagram, because I found that that knee-jerk response, the ability for humans to have a knee-jerk response, is the issue. People don't take the time to sit back, to think, to open their head. Well, hold on a minute, not everyone knows what I'm going through, so I can't know what everything that person's going through. And I guess that's pretty much what I have to say. So I feel like we're all caught up now. I hope that isn't the longest time ever, and I want to just go back to just being honest again. I feel like it's almost like muted me and I've not been able to speak, and at least now I can reference, you know, things, because I just don't know how to do this and keep secrets, basically. So yeah, anyway, today is an exciting day because I'm obviously celebrating something, and this collaboration with Karen Millen that I've been doing has been one of the few things that has kept me going as well, you know, aside from the Tiffany thing and so many other things, you know, working with Bulgari, those kinds of things. My work is my driving force, and so when I'm celebrating, you know, Lydia Millen launches her collection designed with Karen Millen, that is something that kept me going. That's a thing that I was like, nobody realizes how huge this is, aside from all the flashing lights and the snazzy pictures. Like, this was my purpose for the last 3 months. It was my sole purpose. It kept me going, and yeah. Anywho, I hope we're on a good page now. And you're probably all going to be in the comments and be like, Lydia, you are the worst at trying to keep things from us. We could see that you were struggling. I felt it, and that, you know, there were times when I was like, I can't keep this, what I'm going through, a secret anymore. But I'm glad that it's out there. You know, there's no place for speculation in the comments. To protect, like, myself, other people, situations, the drama that can ensue from things, just don't do it. Your assumptions and your lack of ability to know what went on is not welcome here and will not be allowed in the comments. This is just me letting you know a little bit of my side of the story for the last 9 months. So yeah, this is going to be a long vlog because I've spoken to you for a long time, but it's been a long time since we've really kind of like had a real heart to heart in this way. And thank you for allowing me to have a platform to speak to you all in that way, because it is special to be able to do that. So thank you. I'm grateful. And I'm grateful to anyone who's reached out to me privately, because I know that there are lots of you that send me emails and direct messages and I don't see them. They are passed on to me. I don't have visibility on emails. I don't have visibility on anything. But when those good ones come through, my goodness, I can't tell you how they lift my spirit. So thank you, because some of your messages kept me going in my darkest days. And it made me realize how grateful I am, and also where to shift my focus to. So yeah. Anywho, I'm gonna stop rabbiting on in here and get on with my day. I mean, now that I've got most of my stuff, I think I'm not gonna do any more work today, because I've been so productive. I don't wanna like push it. And I've got so many books that I want to read, and I think that having a cozy evening together will be quite nice. We're on the last few days of winter now, and I hope to have a few more fires in the living room, curl up with a book and the fur babies, and just enjoy it. So I'm gonna make myself, should I have a hot chocolate or a cup of tea? Hot chocolate or a cup of tea? Cup of tea. Oh, you love the crinkly things. Crinkle. Sticky, you'll stick to a schnoz. You're bringing it back. Good boy. I think what's in here is for you, you know. Oh, it is for you. More coat. This is very crinkly. Oh, this is all that crinkly. So this is not what I would usually have you wear, but I do think that this is quite a good thing to try and get him to be warmer. Yeah. He obviously wants it. So it's a little puffer jacket.
Looks like Converse.
Yeah, I think that's what they've done. But it's a little puffer jacket, but with a built-in harness, because that's the thing
Perfect.
I struggle with.
Yeah.
Is that you put the coat
and also
on
that's nice and easy.
Yeah,
click.
exactly.
Go on then, stick him in
You
it.
want to try it on?
Put your puffer on.
Time to put your puffer on.
Does look like a puffer coat.
It is a puffer coat. Here you go. Arms through. Here we go. There we go. Oh, this feels snug.
Yeah, cool. He looks like a fighter pilot.
An airline pilot. It might be too big for that.
But hopefully it'll keep him warm, and that's the key thing.
We've just been delivered some cakes from Saint-Tropez to celebrate their new ambassador, which is Ashley Graham. And we've got cupcakes and Ali can't resist them. Oh dear. Well, I had high hopes for this coat, but unfortunately it's too big, but I think he will fit into it in a couple of weeks' time. Can you stop chewing everything? You naughty little sausage bottom. I'm basically trying out everything in terms of what a sausage dog, I'm going to put you there because that's probably the best that we're going to get, but I'm basically trying out everything that you can get for a sausage dog, because when I ordered stuff for him, everyone was like, yeah, you just get puppy stuff for them. No, you don't. You don't get puppy stuff for a miniature Dachshund puppy. You have to get ferret stuff. Literally like ferret collars, ferret harnesses, all of that stuff. You don't get the puppy anything. Oh, this one might fit better. Oh, and it's got a hole for the harness as well, so you put the harness on first. Yeah, that one's gonna fit better. You've got a nice little waterproof. Come on, this one's gonna be nice. Let's go for a walk around the garden, because we haven't shown them how you walk around the garden and follow your mummy like a big boy. Oh, look at you. This is a good one. Little bit flappy at the back. Let's go for a walk. I think I prefer your waxed one, but this is also very smart, and it's got a nice little tartan collar. I get basically all of his stuff from Amazon, because there's no point getting him anything snazzy until he's bigger. Very smart, Porter. Very, very smart. Well, not a lot's changed out here, sadly. Although, broad beans are thriving. I need to get my bamboo sticks in the ground, but they are doing so well. This guy's the hero. Isn't he, Porty Poo? Isn't he? He's got the scent. Yeah, so we've had all of the garden trimmed back, all of the rose bushes and everything. But when we trimmed back this, instantly the wall just like came alive, and it was so exciting to see like shoots coming on the wall. It's very exciting. Porter is having a sniff, literally just a little splodge in the middle of the grass there. They're nice. Let's go this way, come on. Well, I started off looking for healthy recipes to make in my Thermomix, and I happened to find this. And do you know what? I just thought, If ever there is a time in the world where we need some good hearty mac and cheese with butternut squash, it's now. So I'm gonna do my best. It says it's difficulty easy. Preparation time is 10 minutes. I never believe that. It takes me so long to peel things, but I'm gonna give it a go and let's see how we get on. Let me check that I've got all the ingredients first though. That is my worst thing. I start cooking and I'm like, oh, I actually haven't got that. Right. Cheddar cheese, 200 grams. Macaroni pasta, plain flour, butter, milk, salt, pepper, and nutmeg. Nutmeg, my little sausage. Macaroni and cheese with butternut squash is in the oven. I might move it up though, so that it gets a little bit more brown, but it's bubbling away. Still got 8 minutes left, so yeah, I think I'm gonna move it up. But I'm actually gonna make one for the freezer as well, because it was so easy to make. So currently more butternut squash is in the Thermomix. My cheese is done. There's stuff everywhere. Oh. But this one can just go in the freezer easily. If you listen really carefully, you can hear it sizzling. You might just be able to hear that the Thermomix is on and also the pasta for the second dish, but still, it looks delicious. Oh, I'm just letting it stand for 10 minutes and then we're gonna dig in. So I just took myself into a massive, massive pasta coma after dinner and treated myself to some fresh nails. I ordered this colour off of Amazon. This is my new favourite colour, and this is Satin Slippers. And it's just so beautiful. It's like this really lovely, light, natural colour, but it just gives it a really nice finish. I'm actually quite impressed. I've not done a bad job, so yeah, I think that's good. Well, good morning everyone. No, I am not coming on here as a bank robber, and yes, you can hear the sound of Porter crying. Basically where we live smack bang in between two villages, so we are able to drive to each village. I can't go to my village because I can't take Porter to the canal, and that's pretty much the only place, the canal or the park, because he's still waiting for his last 2 injections. I know, my poppet, you've not been in a carrier before. We need to get you a proper car seat. I am driving him to just some fields. I know, my love. I love his little cries. He's like, but yes, so I'm driving him to a field because we have established that miniature dachshunds are stubborn. And he has come up with this idea that he refuses to walk from our house. He will only walk back to our house. So in order to combat this, I'm currently driving him to a new location, and so I'm trying to, like, obviously disorientate him so that he's okay, because I don't want to have to keep carrying him to go for a blooming walk. Sometimes you're able to actually disorientate him enough on the way back that he'll go in different directions other than home. But the moment that he spots our gate walls, he's like, ah, I'm home. Screw you, woman. Currently 8:30. He's supposed to go for a walk at like 7:30, and that's not been happening. If you were hoping for a really chic dog walking outfit, you are going to be let down. So we're going to go for a 20-minute walk. To be honest, I don't really know where to drive to, because where we live is like the perfect place to walk a dog. So I'm a bit sort of like, where are we going to go? All right, sausage bottom. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking to you because I think he's getting upset by the fact that I'm not pacifying him. So I'm gonna take him, we're gonna park up. So I'm basically taking him to the equivalent of the middle of nowhere where we live. Oh, all the little kiddlywinks are going to school. Oh, so weird to think I was ever that size. I always like remember so vividly being that size, but it's weird to think that I actually was, because I thought I was so grown up and I was like 6. Anyway, this is enough the sloth vibes. Do you like my bank robber hat? Yes, looking good. I will see you guys on the walk. Just as a heads up, this is the visibility that we have at this present moment. So yes, in fact, you can see a car coming now and it looks like it's coming out of the sky. How bizarre. Huh. Here he comes. To the heel, good boy. It has been a battle of wills this morning. We are out in a little local area, actually, that Ali and I really like to shoot. But it is a very, very, very foggy and misty morning. It's actually really lovely. You're doing so well. You're doing so well. Yeah, so getting him to move out of the road for cars is next on our hit list. So that I don't have to like drag him like a naughty toddler. Oh my goodness, he's just done so well. He is just doing amazingly. I look like a crazy scientist, however. So we're just going to get to the end of here and then we're going to turn around and go back. I'm not sure what the next step is after this, but he's doing so well. It's just, oh, there's pheasants here as well. Oh, I love it. Look at them. Oh, they just look amazing. What a lovely morning. My hair looks like a scarecrow. We will get home and straighten it, but when we nail these morning walks, it is just going to be amazing. I just can't wait to just get up, throw on some clothes and get outside with him. You can hear the pheasants. It's just a pheasant, Porter. You don't have to be scared. They're everywhere. You better get used to them. There's loads of them here. Wow, oh my gosh. I'd say there's at least 20, but they're all running across the misty horizon. Wow. Yeah, I can't wait for it to just be a bit easier to do these walks so that it's just like part of my routine, because at the moment I'm not really working out. Oh, horse poo. Go around the poo. Good boy, running like a big boy. Yeah, once it's part of my routine, you know, I get up, I work out, he has some breakfast, we go for a walk, and then I'm ready for work. That's going to be the goal, but we just have to get him walking happily away from his own house. Yeah, he's going to need a bath when we get home as well, so that's going to be cute. His second bath, and I know that people are like, don't bath them, but he's only had one bath in his whole life because it's very muddy at the moment. Sadly, he needs to be bathed, but he'll be fine. He'll be fine. It won't kill him. He'll be all right. Bottom. Clean as a whistle. Clean as a whistle. We light the fire for you. Daddy's way ahead of us. It's alright, my little boy. It's alright. Now, I'm not showing any unboxings in this, but I couldn't not show you this one because it's so thoughtful. This is from the lady who did my wedding stationery. She's called Shireen, and we've always kept in touch since the wedding. And she sent me basically a really lovely little card and some biscuits and a cup of tea for me to have because she was sad to hear about my nonno. So I thought that was really sweet, like such a lovely little thing to be able to send someone. I don't even know where this is from, but if I can find the company, I'll link it down below. Maybe, I think she's doing them actually. It'll be from her business. Yeah, I'm so stupid. It's from her business, Gorgeous Creations, and they did my wedding invitations and all of the stationery at my wedding, so I'll link them down below. I would love to tell you that I am just ready after the walk, but it is probably about 4 o'clock. I have been so busy today. I have been filming and just getting on with stuff, and when I'm filming one thing, I can't like pick up my camera. It's this weird thing that I have with like compartmentalizing my content, and I have to do one thing and then another thing and then another thing. I can't like multitask my videos or anything. But anyway, I had a bit of a fright when I got back from the walk because I obviously go by myself and I take Porter in a carrier because we're having to drive him somewhere to just get him used to it. And I got him out of his carrier and he was like quite excessively drooling, and I couldn't understand why. It turns out that that's a trait of, obviously Dachshunds are prone to car sickness, and that's what they do if they feel a little bit nauseous. But yeah, it worried me a little bit, but I chatted to this lady called Alison who owns a website called I Love Dachshunds, and honestly I used her website so much before I even began talking to her. I used it as a point of reference, and then she actually randomly reached out to me, and so we've been talking loads, and she's been helping me with getting Porter really confident with walking. But we were both like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that the drooling was like a thing of that, but she did some research and helped me find that out. But he's currently having a little snooze over here. Look at you. How are you so adorable? Oh, you want the belly rub? You showing me oh, there it is. You think think your daddy's gonna come and give you some raspberries, don't you? I bet you wish he would. I bet you wish he would. Bless you, little snook and pie. I literally look just hilarious. I've got my trousers undone because I've just filmed this outfit for a reel. But I have opened up a delivery from Lords and Labradors. I've been waiting for these to arrive. Basically, we placed an order for some fleeces for him, and like as he grows, so that he's not cold on walks, but they're just slightly more thin and lightweight. So this is the one that actually probably fits him the best now. This one's a special one though. I think he should only wear this when his Uncle Chris comes over, because he's like literally wearing his rainbow pride in support. But this one also fits him, and they've both got, well, all three of them have got his name embroidered on them, and I just I think it's so incredible that they absolutely do everything at Lords and Labradors. It's incredible. But then this is for when he's bigger, and I love this. This navy and green like tartan is just so adorable. So he's finally got some fleeces, because I am finding it difficult with his coats because some of them are quite bulky, and some of them don't come with the little holes for the harness to go through. So very happy that those have arrived. I've also had something arrive from Carolina Herrera. Oh my goodness, look at these roses. Oh wow. This is the Very Good Girl fragrance from Carolina Herrera, and I've been working recently with them, and this is just such a beautiful fragrance. So this is just gorgeous and very unexpected. Like, these are the most perfect roses. In fact, you know what these remind me of? These remind me of my wedding bouquet. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. And to top things off, I've got another bunch of flowers in there, but I've actually not opened them yet. So I'm going to get some clothes on, something a little bit more suitable, and I'm going to unbox those with you as well. And then I'm going to give him some puppy cuddles, because I think he deserves some puppy cuddles. We've got our timeline of events for everything that's going to be happening next week, in terms of starting with the finishing off touches for the kitchen. And Lauren rang me today and she was like, I don't think you're going to believe how different it's going to look so quickly. Like, they literally start taking the floor up next week. And if you've been following my renovation journey, have I got lipstick on my chin? I have. I'm wearing one of those Louboutin lipsticks, and I get it on my chin because I was eating a cream cheese and salmon bagel. But yeah, no, so she's just basically said that it's all gonna start happening really soon. And if you followed me for a while, you'll know that I have had a passionate dislike for the floor in my kitchen for quite a while. Like, I just don't like glossy tiles whatsoever. And so I'm really, really excited for a change. But I'll obviously be documenting everything with you and showing you things, because I think you're gonna be really shocked by the difference, like you are with most things. I always feel like whenever I say, I'm gonna do this, people are like, don't do it. And then I do it and they're like, oh. Anyway, time to get some comfies on, and it's Friday, and I'm very much looking forward to a weekend of chillaxing. We've got lots to celebrate. My collection with Karen Millen did so much better than I could have ever imagined, and we've literally like kind of begun discussions on the next chapter, and it's just, I feel like I'm like up here at the moment. And I was saying in this video earlier that I haven't obviously taken headache tablets, but when I get overwhelmed, even in a good way, sometimes it can cause me to get a headache as well. So I did have to take a headache tablet, sadly, but I feel like when it's for a good reason, it's not so bad. So I'm not kicking myself, and I'm not taking it as like a failure or anything like that, but it's just one of those things that is a product of everything. But yeah, it's a good win, a good win. Right, I am about ready to settle down for the evening and enjoy a glass of bubbles, but I need to get rid of all of this stuff. So I thought that I would open up these flowers with you, and this little thing, because I think this is from Perrier Jouet. I think that's how you say it, probably just butchered that. And I think that's probably what I'm going to crack open this evening. So I thought I'd end things just with some flowers and some champagne, because I feel like that's a good vibes way to end things. First things first, the bubbles. Oh wow, oh it's rosé, look how beautiful that is. It's got flowers on it as well. So beautiful. And then it looks like these flowers are from McQueen's, and McQueen's flowers always get me so excited. Very good boxes as well that they come in. Oh wow, are these, I might be wrong, but are they ranunculus? No, they're not ranunculus. What does it say? What was that? and I couldn't work out where it was from, and it was this, look. Why has that been exploding? Look, you can literally see where it's exploded. So bizarre. We are delighted to gift you with the Adele, a collaboration between McQueen's Flowers and Perrier Jouet Champagne over their shared love of the anemone. So that's what the flower is, the anemone. I think that's how you say it. The bouquet is named after Adele Jouet, who founded Perrier Jouet with her husband, Nicolas Perrier, a year after their wedding in 1811. I really hope that I'm not butchering your name. If I am, I apologise. Oh, how lovely. What a lovely bunch of flowers. Aww. Oh, how adorable is this? McQueen's, apologies, but our delivery of gorgeous McQueen's Flowers nationwide delivery boxes has been delayed by a global shortage of cardboard caused by the worldwide increase in online shopping and home delivery. However, our lovely sister brand Hayford and Rhodes have come to our rescue with some of their boxes. We hope you don't mind. Right, I'm gonna get these flowers into some water and pop open some bubbles. House is all clean. Sausage bottom is a happy bottom. So we are going to settle down for the day. I think in my next vlog, I'll be picking up and we'll be starting off the finishing off bits in these rooms. So yeah, you should see quite a fair amount of stuff happen in the next video, which is quite exciting. Although I'm saying that now, no, I should never say that. Never say that, Lydia, because I know it will all be delayed or something like that. But I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support on my collection, and fingers crossed we get to do more.